Back in mid 2019, I looked like this. I had just consciously awoke from a year of partying, eating junk, and just general pleasure chasing because I had just finished my first year of university, and starting university was like letting a monkey in a cage out, and the monkey sprints out and just grabs everything it can. I ate all the junk. I partied every week. At the start of university, I partied for 2 weeks straight, every single day. And of course, I stopped going to the gym completely. I stopped doing any sort of cardio. I was basically doing nothing good and all the bad stuff. And there was a distinct moment at the end of that year where I stepped on the scale and saw 98 kilos in front of me. And I started that year at 85 kilos. So I'd gained about 10 kilos in a year. And it might not sound that bad, but combined with stopping to work out, I had really let myself go. I thought maximum I would have gained about 5 kilos, but it was double that. I actually thought the scale was wrong, so I kept trying to put it in a different place on the floor, make sure it was all flat and level, kept stepping on it, but it still said 98, and I just didn't want to believe it. And it was then, after a day or two of despair and just wallowing in my sadness, that I had the realization that I can actually improve my life. Deadass, I literally thought I discovered self-improvement. I thought that I was the first person to do this. So I started reading books. I read the book The Slight Edge. That was the first self-improvement book I read. Then I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was good. And I basically promised myself that in about 5 to 10 years time, I'd be a CEO of a big company. I wrote it all down on a page and I started reading it every single day. I was doing a coding degree, so I thought I'd make the next billion-dollar startup, so I started learning Java, and I learned Java fairly quickly. The reason I learned Java is because Java is learned to make Android apps. So I worked on that textbook every morning for a few hours, and I actually managed to finish it by the end of that summer. I was really proud of myself because I had never done anything like that for myself before. Any work that I had to do was always done last minute, in about a couple hours, really rushed, and I never took pride in anything until that point. So it was a really big leap for me. But then when it came down to it and it was actually time to start making my own app and putting it on the App Store, started to make more money, I was looking at all the competition that was on there. There was literally thousands of new apps coming out every single day. Most of them were unsuccessful, and because I now knew how much effort it took to make a single app, I just couldn't be bothered. I didn't end up using that knowledge at all, and that time was pretty much wasted. About 3 months after that, I discovered a website called Upwork, and I realized that there was a lot of people making good money from freelancing, and a lot of those people ended up making websites for people. So naturally, I got really attracted to that, and I wanted to make websites. And at the end of 2019, when I made that decision, I looked like this. I found this massive free online course that taught you from start to finish how to be a full stack web developer, which was massive because it would literally teach you everything you need to know. I thought that was going to be my ticket to freedom. So I spent the next year and a half learning how to make websites. It wasn't consistent, it was on and off, but I was probably ready to start looking for work around mid 2020, but I stopped myself from doing that until I completed every single lesson, and I did that in mid 2021, an entire year later. And when I finally finished that course, I looked like this. So now, naturally, you'd think I would start looking for freelance work, right? And I wanted to. I looked at some YouTubers that taught you how to do it. I set up an Upwork profile, but then I remembered them saying that it's gonna take some work. You're gonna have to do some jobs that are very cheap at first. You're not gonna make a lot of money from your first jobs. You're gonna have to make a name for yourself. You're gonna actually have to do some work, basically. And that put me off because I was lazy and I still had about a year and a half left of university. So I thought future me will work that out. So like the other thing, I ended up not doing it. Around that time though, something happened because I finally became sick of looking how I looked. I had let go of my body so much that I didn't recognize myself anymore. Back in 2017, before all of this story, I used to be really into the gym, but I stopped going as soon as university started. So I stopped pursuing all of the business stuff. Went from 0 pull-ups to 10 pull-ups. I went from running 1K in 9 minutes and tasting blood in my mouth to a pretty decent 25-minute 5K. I lost a bunch of weight, and at the end of that journey in August of 2021, I looked like this. My fitness transformation was complete, and now the final year of university was looming. It was going to start in a month, so I started getting into business again because I knew I had to get something done that year. And the problem was, by that point, I forgot literally all of the Android stuff I'd learned, all of the website stuff I'd learned, and I had to start from scratch. But I ask you now, is it a coincidence that just 2 months after the end of that fitness journey, I started the first business that's ever worked for me? And that business was my YouTube channel, because I stopped learning bullshit. I started taking action immediately and learn as I went along. Despite not seeing many results at first, I was improving rapidly, and because of this, my channel blew up. And in May of 2022, when I finally broke through and went full-time on YouTube, I looked like this. I was the strongest that I ever was up until that point. I looked the best that I ever have up until that point, and I was the most consistent I'd ever been. Your business journey is a reflection of you. The success you're looking for isn't in some marketing gimmick or thumbnail style. It's in becoming the person that runs that successful business, because once you do that, all of the answers to your problems come to you. If you're watching this, you're probably a lot like me, because people tend to watch people that they can relate to. And because you're like me, I know that no matter what stage of your life you're at, you have that special quality. Once you start, you can't quit. And even if you do quit for a bit, you eventually end up coming back and getting it done. There's something inside you that just can't stop until you're great. If you do stop, there's going to be this looming thought in your mind. No matter how far you push it back, it's always going to be there, and you're always going to come back and get shit done. And because you're a lot like me, I know exactly what it feels like to not quite be there yet. You know deep down what you're meant for, that you're meant to be great. But it's almost annoying at the same time, because you get there, you get to all the goals you set for yourself, and then you still don't want to settle. You still haven't had enough. Let's go to the gym, bro. Hello, my friend. I hope you like this new camera angle. I've got a new phone holder, so I'm hoping that will take away a lot of the noise that we had before and make it a lot more watchable. Because before there was so much noise, man. It really annoyed me. Anyway, it is another rainy day in England. Shut up, car. Let's make some shit happen. I'm quite excited because I have thought of a new way to kind of angle the content on this channel. And don't worry, there's not going to be that much that's actually going to change. And in fact, you're actually going to find it more useful. What I'm going to do is slightly change the title, slightly change the thumbnails, and actually the videos will be more useful from now on. And you'll see what I mean when I post the next video. It's just a different type of branding that I want to try out, because I think it's the reason that initial video got 60,000 views, because there's a few other ones that subsequently also got more views than the videos before it, and I think I finally figured out why they were getting the views. So that's what I'm going to be testing out. So if you see the next, if you see one of the next 1 to 2 videos get more views than usual, you know I found it. And if I haven't, that's okay. We're going to keep looking. Business is all about experimentation, and something that I really fucking messed up before is I used to figure something out, and I used to be too scared to try it, because if it didn't work, it was like I was back to square one. A really big mistake that I used to make in business a lot, and I still do this sometimes, is having a really good idea in my head. And then that idea comforts me, because I know that this idea could possibly take me a lot further, blow up my channel, make me a lot more money, whatever. But I banked so much on that idea that I used to be scared to try it. And that really held me back for a long time. But I think the secret to me getting past that was realizing that if that idea doesn't work, it's not like I've lost anything. I basically haven't moved. I haven't gone backwards. I haven't gone forwards. And I'm sure that as soon as I try that idea and it doesn't work, there'll be learning lessons from it that I can then find the next idea with. At the end of the day, that's a big part of business, trying something, failing, and then using that lesson to figure out what to try next. I used to stop at that first step because I used to be really excited to try it, and I almost banked everything on that idea working. So if the idea didn't work, then I used to get really upset over it, even though I was actually taking myself further whether it worked or not, because I was getting one step closer to that thing that would work well. It's an interesting insight. Basically, you just need to, like First Man said, the YouTuber First Man, you need to stop stepping on your own balls. You just need to do something. If you get an idea, just try it. Not what's the worst that can happen, you know? Logan Paul recovered from making a video about a dead body in a forest. Like, whatever you try is not going to be as bad as that, I'm sure. Another exciting bit of news I have is that I think I've figured out how I'm going to monetize this channel for now. It's probably not going to be a permanent solution, but I just want to start making money from this channel because this channel is my purpose, and I feel like if I make even just like $500 a month, $1,000 a month from this channel, it will give me the confidence that I can scale it enough to eventually replace my other business with. So the first thing I thought of doing is actually making a Skillshare class. But bear with me on this, because I can literally make you a class that you can watch just on the free trial of Skillshare, right? After you're done with that class, you can completely cancel your Skillshare subscription and literally watch my course for free. But the benefit of hosting it on Skillshare is that every time someone watches one of your courses, you get like $5-6 because it's like 10 cents per minute watched, I think. So it's like really good CPM on there. The second thing I thought of doing is to review people's YouTube channels. So I could make a Shopify page where you can buy like might have different tiers. It might have one tier, I don't know, but it's gonna be like $50, $100, and I'll take a detailed look at your YouTube channel and tell you exactly where you can improve. I could maybe give you some viral titles. I could maybe tell you how you can tweak some thumbnails, give you a lot of valuable knowledge. I think that's something that's not really been done before that I think would work pretty well. And the final thing I thought of doing is one-to-one coaching. I can help you with your YouTube channel. I would literally give you my personal WhatsApp number so that anytime you have any issues choosing which thumbnail to pick, which title, if you have any issue about, you know, your business, you can literally just go to me and I will answer your question immediately. There'll be none of that bullshit where you have to look up YouTube videos and you're not sure if that advice applies to you. You would literally have my brain on tap, and then there'll be a bunch of other bonuses, like we'd have a call every week. I could give you a full channel review, a full game plan, all of that, and that would be on a one-to-one basis. I think I might actually leave a Calendly link in the description of this video if that's something you'd be interested in. And actually, a lot of people, like Hamza, for example, he would charge like $10,000 a month for this. But for me, since I'm just beginning, I think I'm only going to charge like a couple hundred, maybe $200 to $300 a month for this. So if that's something you'd be interested in, no pressure. You don't have to. You can go down and book a little call with me, see if we'd be a good fit. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's fine too. But yeah, that's some exciting stuff. I don't know when I'll start doing the, I don't know when I'll have time to make the Skillshare course and when I'll have time to set up the, what's it called? The YouTube channel review stuff, but I think I'll leave the coaching link in the description if that's something you're interested in. So yeah, we're at the gym, let's do a run. Hello, my friend. We are all done. That went well. I'm gonna go now, as always, go home, have my big meal. I actually wanted to share with you something about my meal, because right now
My diet is very strict. It's like whole foods only. I eat minimal carbs so that my brain stays functioning, because I'm one of those people where if I eat carbs, my brain turns off. I need a nap literally straight away. So I eat minimal carbs, and I eat a lot of ground beef, like grass-fed ground beef. And I've discovered something about that ground beef that I will tell you now. Now, if you're one of the absolute OG legends of this channel, you will know that my McDonald's order used to consist of a large meal and 5 McDonald's cheeseburgers. Because I love McDonald's cheeseburgers, but naturally, in my current diet, I can't have them. But what I've discovered is, if you mix that ground beef with a tiny bit of ketchup, a tiny bit of mustard, then slice up some gherkins, and you chop up some raw onion finely, put that in there, it tastes fucking exactly like a McDonald's cheeseburger, just without the bun. And I have been on that roll lately. I am so excited to get home and eat that right now. The 5K, slowly getting faster. We're slowly, progressively overloading the discomfort we feel during the runs, which is good. I used to be able to feel so much discomfort during my runs, and I just kept going, but I think I've turned into a bit of a cardio pussy, so I need to keep progressing that, and I'm sure I'll get back to my old cardio prowess in no time. I used to have a convertible. I actually used to have a Mazda MX-5 before I left to Thailand, but I sold it because those cars really, really rust. And I was gonna have to leave it over winter, and if I didn't drive that car all winter, that car would have succumbed to rust. So I had to get rid of it, sadly, and I miss that car every single day. So I've really been considering getting another convertible. It doesn't have to be some expensive like Porsche or whatever. I just want it to be something with an open roof, because I made so many memories in that car and I just miss it, you know. Maybe I could get another Mazda MX-5, be one of those people. If you don't know anything about the car scene, the Mazda MX-5 is basically like the most common enthusiast car that you can get. So it's like a bit basic, but it's probably the most fun car I have ever driven. Yeah, maybe one of these days you'll see me in that car. Anyway, it is once again raining. It stopped for a bit, now it's started again. Good old England. Time to get soaked on the way back home from the car, eat my meal, and I will hand it over to the other Brian.
If you're new here, my name is Brian, and what I basically do is help you quit your 9 to 5 because you were traumatized as a child and now you hate authority, so you revolve your entire life around escaping it. If you resonate with that, you are like us. You have the same trauma as us and you are building a better life, just like everyone else on this channel. So consider subscribing. Welcome. I'm Brian. As I said, I will see you in the next video. Subscribe.